I'm back, and I'm focused in on this particular purple one here. I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and repot this one because I don't care for that blackness. See it there? On this leaf. Leaf is split. It's not doing very well, as said by the yellowing. So I'm going to go ahead and get it into a new pot, a little bit bigger, because one of the annoyances is it's wobbly. The plant's a little too big for that small pot to support it. So I'm going to go ahead and get it into a bigger pot, and I'm just going to sacrifice that leaf, which for me is a little out of character, but a lot of orchid growers will say better to sacrifice a leaf and risk blooms for the benefit of the plant. I don't think the blooms are going to have a negative effect, but if they do, they'll bloom again. I can I can get Phalaenopsis to bloom. There's a Phalaenopsis that blooms. Here's a Phalaenopsis that blooms, even though that's not so impressive at the moment with only 2 blooms. But here's a Phalaenopsis that blooms. And like I say, this kind of gets carried away. It's only got 1 bud left to open. And then all the blooms, no, we don't want to look at that. All of its blooms will be open after that one there decides to open. And it will in, I don't know, 3 or 4 days it should open. But I've noticed that my videos are starting to get a little sparse, and I need to get some videos out before everybody thinks the channel has died. So that's what I'm going to do this time, is get that out of its pot, get it into a bigger pot. I don't go for I don't want to say nonsense, but honestly, that's how I look at it. That orchids need to be secure in pots. I don't go for that one. This one is over potted. You can see now there's some roots that have made their way to the sides, but it doesn't have a whole lot of roots. The roots it does have decided they like that bark, and the plant's doing fine. It's done, like I said, there's where the first blooms came out, second set of blooms, and round 3 is pretty pathetic, but it's a round 3. So yeah, I will, it'll probably go into a pot that size. So, you know, back up just a little bit, get both pots in. Yeah, that, about 3 times the room, 2.5, maybe 3 times the room. It should be fine. I know they like to be secure in their pot, and I could probably pick that right up out of the, this one over here. I could probably just pick it right up, and all the wood chips would fall into the pot, and I would just have a plant in my hand. But it's fine. It's gonna be starting a new leaf here, I hope, pretty soon. I hope everybody kind of starts on a new leaf. because everybody just got done blooming. The only thing that's out of bloom is my violets down here. Here we go. Here's the violets. There's that one. Not in bloom, but you can see its new leaves. It's doing well. And we come over here. Again, got some new leaves. Doing well. And this one, doing well. There's the bud that blasted. And the bloom that blasted off this white one. Haven't cleaned up. I need to. But yeah, there's everything. And here's the aloe. I took the, I think that's the oldest leaf, what I would call the matriarchal leaf. It's got that nasty brown base. It wasn't doing anything, so I removed it from the pot. Considered maybe putting it in the fridge in case I burn myself. Get a small cut or something. But I probably won't. I'll probably just let it decompose into the soil and feed any microbes I've got living in the soil. Okay, this video is going on 7 minutes now, and as you can hear, or maybe I should say as you can't hear, I have shut down the fish tank. So this is a pretty quiet video. But the water level's a little too low, and it was being quite obnoxious with the sound. I made a video yesterday that I just had to scrap because the okay, we'll come up here. The water noise was just too much, so I'm redoing it here. But I do want to get the pump turned back on because there's some debate in the fish world about how long you can have your pumps off without affecting the bacterial colonies that you rely on to keep your fish alive. Or in my case, I rely on to feed my houseplants as well. Not just the orchids and the violets, but all of my houseplants. The lucky bamboo, which is literally in the water, sticks up out of the pumps. And yeah, that's 3 or 4 years old, something like that. But yeah, the debate is how long your bacteria can live without an oxygen supply. The bacteria that we rely on to take care of the fish, there's 2 families. I've discussed that, I believe, in an older video about cycling your tank. There's 2 families of bacteria that live in your filters and in your tank. Those both really like oxygen. And with the pumps turned off, they're not getting a fresh supply. So the rule of thumb is 15-20 minutes, and it's believed that they start to die off. Well, now we're going on 10 minutes, so I'm going to let you go and get the pump turned back on so that I don't affect those colonies any more than necessary. Okay. Talk to you next time.